Oh man, what a weekend, people. Big time stories coming. Probably the best time to be a fan right now. Let's get right into it. Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Smells like Wrasslin, episode 51. We have a lot to talk about. Gosh. Where to begin? All right. We got to talk about the Rumble. All right. This was probably the most excited I've been for a Rumble in a really long time. And that's one reason. Bloodline. That entire storyline has been fucking money. All right? Fucking money. Trial of Sami Zayn. Awesome. Everything. Everything was lined up. Now, the big question was, can the WWE pull this off? Can they pull off something, a worthwhile, not a payoff, but a worthwhile next chapter in one of the longest storylines that they've told in I don't even know how long? I know that this is the most into a storyline I've been since WrestleMania 30, since the Daniel Bryan Yes movement, Daniel Bryan versus The Authority, all of that. All of that. That's the last time I've been excited about a storyline in the WWE. This, I have to watch every week. I watch Raw to see if there's something more going on. I get to see some, some sort of okay matches. I get what they're doing with the Judgment Day. I'm feeling it. I get what they're doing with Rhea Ripley. I get what they're doing with Cody. Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble. He declared himself to fight Roman. There's no way Cody was going to use that for the IC or anything like that. He's like, I'm challenging Roman Reigns. So Roman versus Owens. Nothing else in the pay-per-view was really worth talking about. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna go straight into after the men's rumble. Like nothing else mattered except for the main event. So no way Owens was winning. You knew that. I knew that. All right. Owens was not winning, but the way that they played the whole thing out was masterful. Obviously, Reigns with the low blow, he gets the victory, and then that was it, man. Bloodline were coming in. They were going to pick this motherfucker apart. They beat the crap out of him. They super kicked him a million times. They freaking handcuffed him to the ropes. They did everything. Everything to him. Everything. They threw him on the steps like twice. It was nuts. So Roman is about to freaking do the coup de grace on Owens, all right? And not like the Finn Balor coup de grace. I'm talking about I'm going to take a chair and I'm going to rock bludgeoning mankind this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Sammy gets in the middle. He's like, you don't have to do this, Roman, all right? You're the tribal chief. This is beneath you. He's done. He's done. It's over. You've won. You're the man, Then Roman's like, you know what? You're right. I don't have to do this. You're going to motherfucking do it. So he gives Sammy the chair. He's freaking pushing his face, like egging him on, like, let's fucking go. You're with us or you're against us. You're going to take this guy out. What's going on? Roman turns his back away, turns his back towards Sammy. He's looking at Owens. And Sammy freaking lays him out with the chair. And that place fucking exploded. I'm talking about... They couldn't even capture the pure audio of how loud that place was because it was that loud. The technology wasn't around. It couldn't do it. That was one of the greatest moments I've ever seen in wrestling. That was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome. It was played out perfectly. All right? Jimmy goes, super kicks Sammy, starts beating the shit out of him. They start looking at Jay's in the corner, he couldn't do it, man. He couldn't do it. Sammy did what Jay couldn't do. Stand up to Roman. Now, Roman, if you go back even further, when he was feuding with Jay, Roman really couldn't beat Jay physically. Jay would not give up. He was too proud. All right? But he beat him mentally by using his brother as the reason that he tapped out. He got in here, and he got in here. All right? So Jay, after a while, they're winning titles, and he's not really all that, I ate all this, and now he's all kind of on board. But that had to gnaw at him, right? That had to fucking gnaw at him for months and months, that this was the guy. And then he brings in Sammy, and he's like, what are you doing? Why the hell would you want to even be here? Oh, and then Sammy winning him over, and then Jay couldn't do it. He walks out. He crawls underneath the bottom rope, and he walks down the aisle, and he leaves him. He couldn't join in on the beatdown. I mean, Sammy still got savagely beaten down anyways, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. God damn, that was some great fucking television right there. That was great storytelling, great execution. You cared about the match because there was story in the match, which meant everything fucking mattered. Awesome. Awesome. It does not get any better than that, people, in terms of pro wrestling storytelling. And the great part about this is the story continues. Now we got Cody, winner of the Rumble, going after Roman. Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. What's going to be the fallout between Sammy and the Bloodline? What's going to be the fallout between Jay and the Bloodline? Is there even a fucking Bloodline now? My prediction, and the prediction of many, or not many, just people who I talk to and who make fucking common sense, but it looks like it's going to be Sammy and Roman at Elimination Chamber. Now, this is what I wanted to get into, because the beauty of all this is that in terms of storytelling, you have to walk a very fine line. A very fine line. Because there's a very compelling story to be told with Sami Zayn. And an argument could be made that it should be Sammy that's the one that takes the title off of Roman. I don't disagree, but number one, I don't see Sammy being a guy, like the guy. A guy, like, here's the problem, people. It's all well and good to book someone winning the title, but the challenge is, what are they going to do with it? What's the title reign going to be like? Who are guys that you could reasonably set up to not only fight Sammy, but lose to Sammy while putting him over, and essentially Sammy having to put over the other guy, because you don't want to have another situation where people are just getting squashed all over the place. And now you have, there's no mid card. There's just a lower card and the main event. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. I am of the strong opinion that you cannot feasibly book Sami Zayn to be the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight, whatever the fuck they're calling it nowadays. All right? Cody, you can. Cody, there's a story. Cody, you've already had him beat main event guys. You know what I mean? Like, he beat Seth Rollins. He had his WrestleMania moment. He had that whole torn pec muscle at Hell in a Cell. You know what I mean? Like, he's primed to be the Superman to beat the Lex Luthor or Doomsday or whatever the fuck you want to call Roman. All right? He's the perfect hero to Roman's villain. You know what I'm talking about? Good versus evil. Now, if you're smart, you build up Roman's heat and his evilness by having him do despicable shit to the one person everybody loves, which is fucking Sami Zayn. And at the end of the Royal Rumble, when you have a whole crowd chanting, fuck you, Roman, that's success. That's storytelling success, people. That's how you do it. That's how you operate. Now, if I'm correct, and in Montreal, they have Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns, I'm telling you this right now, you cannot book it that it looked like Sami ever had a chance of winning that match. Roman has to be booked in a way that Sami is so far out of his league that's why Roman is the guy. That's why he's the tribal chief. That's why he's the head of the table. That's why he is the undisputed universal whatever the fuck. All right? You can't have Sammy get Roman to any near falls. Maybe one. But you can't plant that inadvertently, as you may be, you can't inadvertently plant that seed into the fans' minds that maybe Sammy could beat Roman. Maybe Sammy could be the champion. No. Cody's going to be the champion. All right? Cody's the guy. So how do you book this match to keep people from wanting to see the most loved guy on the roster hold the belt? Because let's be real. Every single time the internet has a darling, the first thing they say is, we want him to be the champion. How did Kofi Mania work out for you people? All right? It didn't fucking work out. The man got pinned by Brock Lesnar in 6 seconds. All right? He had a feud with Daniel Bryan, and can anyone tell me any worthwhile feuds that Kofi had outside of Daniel Bryan? No. Brock comes back, boom, 6 seconds done. And immediately, he was back doing whatever the fuck. All right? You can't book Sami Zayn to be champ. He's not the guy. What you do want to do is you want to make sure that we don't see or hear from Kevin Owens at all. The guy got beaten within an inch of his life. There's no fucking way he should be showing up on SmackDown, all right? At the very least, if you want to have this guy show up all taped up, still trying to kill these motherfuckers, and then they take him out again, and then you don't show him on TV, fine. You want to put some more stank on what makes it, or on what gets Sami Zayn all pissed off, cool, man. Then you use Kevin again. Then you build a match between Sami and Roman, and maybe you make it for the titles. Maybe you don't make it for the titles. Who knows? I say don't make it for the titles, but I don't think you can have a match with Roman without putting the titles on the line. Like, especially a one-on-one match. I don't know. The blood feud, for lack of a better term, is there. Like, the need to have these guys fight each other is there. The title doesn't need to be in the line, because you want to know why? Sammy's never wanted the title. So the only reason I could think of for the titles on the line is that Sammy's so pissed with Roman and so disgusted that not only is he willing to fight Roman, but he's willing to attempt to take away everything that Roman loves. He's already shattered the family. Now he's going to take his title belts. Like, that's going to happen, fine. But if you're going to build up a story of vengeance like that and then start making about the titles, like, the only way Sami Zayn is actually ever going to get revenge on Roman is if he physically takes those titles. You can't write it that way. And so they have to walk a very fine line with this story. They have to make sure they don't make the crowd think like, we don't want Cody to win the title. We want fucking Sami, because it's been proven that the crowd can hijack shows, and that actually influences booking. Cody is a guy that you could book long-term title. You could book a title reign and have him have really good feuds. Already there's a feud set with Rollins. Rollins is going to be the Joker to Cody's Batman, all right? He's going to be that guy who's going to be haunting his entire fucking title reign. But Cody could really fight anybody. You know what I mean? He's the all-American good guy. So that's an easy babyface to book for. We really didn't get much of a follow-up on the Bloodline storyline on Raw. They are going to make Elimination Chamber about the United States title, which I thought was pretty good. But I cannot for the life of me, and I'll be real with you guys, I didn't watch all of Raw. I was kind of just skimming through to see if there was stuff with the Bloodline, which nothing really stuck out to me, except we're probably going to get some sort of follow-up on Monday. But Cody did challenge for the belts. Rhea Ripley, who went in at number 1 and went the distance to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She's challenging Charlotte Flair again. I really do think they need to give Rhea the title because of the shit that she's doing with Judgment Day. That could be her stable. She could be the mommy that has a stable of men. Usually whenever a woman wins the title and they have a stable, it's a stable of women. Rhea Ripley can have a stable of fucking men. And not just any men. It's fucking Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. So I'm all for Rhea Ripley taking the belt off of Charlotte. I've seen Charlotte win the belt almost 14 fucking times. So, I mean, I don't, if I want Charlotte to win the belt, no matter what place or time, it's probably not that far off. So let's let Rhea win the belt. I think that'll put her over big time. I definitely think she should be a heel champion. I definitely think that maybe she should even cheat to win and beat Charlotte that way, because you don't want... Judgment Day works because they're a heel faction. So you got to make sure that the crowd isn't necessarily satisfied with Rhea winning, even though most of us do want her to win. But she should fucking cheat to win, and Charlotte should be all pissed off about it, and Rhea should be able to brag to people the next night when she's won the title that she fucking got one over on Charlotte Flair and she's the best, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. Let's get on with tonight's Dynamite. I gotta say, the storylines right now in WWE, I am so much more interested in them than the storylines that have been on AEW as of right now. I mean, I will say that I am enjoying this, like, endless dream match role that Bryan Danielson is on. He's fighting some of the best wrestlers on the planet to beat MJF. He fought Timothy Thatcher tonight. He fought, didn't he fight Konosuke? Yeah, he fought Konosuke Takeshita. He fought freaking Dragon Lee. He fought freaking Brian Cage. This guy is beating everybody. Everybody. It's awesome. I'm still hoping that Danielson ends up having to fight either Zack Sabre Jr. or Kenny Omega before he gets to MJF. But I feel like because they already had him fight Timothy Thatcher, they've already had him go the route of fighting that submission specialist. I also now it seems pretty apparent that they're just going to work over Danielson's arm the entire gauntlet, in which MJF, who uses Salt of the Earth, which is a Fujiwara armbar, he's going to use that, and in some way, shape, or form, that'll be the way that he gets one over on Danielson. All right, fine. But it's like, I feel like you have to gradually, like, up the ante. And I feel like the only way you could up the ante with Danielson without putting him in stupid gimmick matches is to up the talent of the person he's wrestling. So, like, you know, he had an okay match with Brian Cage. I'm not really that big of a fan of Brian Cage, but the only time I would probably be interested in the match that he was in is one of two guys so far. One was Bryan Danielson, and the other one is freaking Konosuke Takeshita, which was tonight's match, which I actually enjoyed. That's 2 Brian Cage matches in a row that I like. Tony Khan is a booking genius. Somehow, I didn't want to gouge my fucking eyes out watching a Brian Cage match or go to bed. So, let's go over this show. But I'm telling you, man, the storylines right now in WWE are fucking awesome, bro. I don't know, the fucking Dominic Mysterio shit got me. I don't know how it fucking got me, but it got me. I'm always interested in whatever Seth Rollins is doing because I just feel like he just has been, whatever stuff he's in is interesting to me. You know, his character's cool, the crowd still pops, the song is awesome, he's a great wrestler. You know, put him in worthwhile feuds. I mean, it obviously looks like he's going to probably end up fighting Logan Paul at Mania. That's my guess. Because they had that, moment at Mania, and I think Logan Paul was the one who eliminated Seth Rollins. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what I think Rollins is going to do. I don't think he's going to be really involved in any title, even though he did win his match to qualify him into the Elimination Chamber, as well as my boy Johnny Gargano, if I remember correctly. I don't know how I do or don't know if Johnny Gargano is in a major pay-per-view. But I'm assuming because the guys in my chat didn't ruthlessly mock me for Baron Corbin winning, I'm going to assume Gargano won because they never give that man props, you motherfuckers in the chat. Not the fucking YouTube chat. The you know what chat I'm talking about. The Rat Bastards chat. All right? You assholes. If Gargano won, I want a parade of praise for the American Okada, the greatest wrestler alive. Take all this shit. And I don't hear a peep about how shitty that fucking Bray Wyatt match was. I'm fucking believable. I almost popped my jaw out. All right, so Here we go. So Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page to start off the show. This is the rubber match between the two. Moxley beat Hangman the first time. Obviously, that infamous match where Moxley knocked Hangman out cold. No kayfabe, for real. Knocked his ass out. The second match, Hangman does the same thing to Mox, but it was kayfabe. Mox didn't actually get knocked out. He just played knocked out. And then the third match was tonight. And I was shocked that Moxley ended up taking the victory. He actually pulled off a pin in the middle of he was able to reverse, I believe it was a bulldog choke, which is his own move that was being applied on him by Hangman. He was able to reverse that and pin Hangman. So, but Hangman was not pleased. They gave each other the finger. They were shoving each other. The Blackpool Combat Club got in the way. So I am very curious as to what is going to happen between these two guys. Is this going to be, well, you got me this time, but somewhere down the road, I'm going to get you next time? Is this going to be not over for Hangman? He's going to keep on hounding Mox. I don't necessarily know if I want to see them fight again. You know what I mean? Usually, I feel like feuds work better at the most in trilogies. I mean, if you want to do, a best of 7 series, like the Elite and Death Triangle, I think you can. But, you don't want to do too many of those. You know, we just finished one. So, an official one. You know what I mean? They weren't really necessarily billing this as a rubber match. I mean, I think it was mentioned. But, what happens now? Does Hangman just... What happens with Hangman? What happens with Mox? When's he going to take this infamous vacation he was supposed to go on before freaking shit went downhill with injuries and CM Punk? So I don't know. But it was a great match. They beat the fucking piss out of each other. Mox obviously was busted open because every match Mox works in, he's busted open. If they don't sell a busted open Mox, I feel like that's a missed thing. They should sell a busted open Mox action figure, and he's already got fucking blood on the face. If they haven't done that, then I don't even know. And if they haven't done it, anyone who actually owns a Jon Moxley action figure should put some fucking blood on it right now. And because that's the only way it'll fucking look real to me, I'll tell you that much. So, Moxley and Hangman beat the shit out of each other. Moxley wins with the, how do I say this? He basically was able to take the bulldog choke, hook the leg, and kind of trap him in a pin. So, that's pretty much what happened. The next match was AEW Tag Team Champions, The Acclaimed, which consist of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, along with Daddy Ass, which is Billy Gunn. They defeated the Outrunners, which consists of Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. So The Acclaimed basically beat a bunch of fucking jobbers. This really was to set up an angle at the end of the match with the Gun Club, and the Gun Club basically shitting all over Daddy Ass and saying, you just turned your back on us again, because they were basically in an argument again, and then Billy Gunn just was like, fuck this shit, I'm not dealing with it anymore, I'm gone. And as he's walking out of the ring and he's going up the ramp, you got his own son saying, you should just turn your back on us like you did when we were kids. And they were like, yeah, why don't you find solace at the bottom of a pill bottle like you used to? So he basically storms back into the ring after that zinger and gets in his son's faces and was just like, you know what? You're on. Tag title match next week. So apparently, Daddy Ass could make matches for The Acclaimed. I don't know what that's going to mean for the future in terms of The Acclaimed and their relationship with Billy Gunn. Who knows? But that match is coming. Alex Marvez is backstage with Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. He asked him what's next for Jungle Hook. And Jungle Boy said the one thing I was hoping for him to say. That he's done the tag team thing before. It didn't work out. This year he was going to be a champion again, but this time he's going to do it all by himself. So, listen, he teamed up with Hook temporarily because Hook had his back. It was a cool thing that they did, but Jungle Boy's on a mission and he wants singles gold. Thank God. because I do not want Jungle Hook as a tag team. I don't ever want to hear the phrase Jungle Hook ever again. It's fucking stupid and it sucks. It's a stupid idea from bad creative and it needs to go. Okay? That's what I got to say that's what I have to say about that. Next match, Konosuke Takeshita defeats the one third of the ROH 6-man champions, Brian Cage. Brian Cage, that's 2 losses in a row for him, but not gonna lie, 2 matches that weren't too shabby. I keep on forgetting how fucking huge Takeshita is. That is a tall motherfucker. He could look Brian Cage right in the fucking eye. That is a one tall dude. He's like Okada tall. So, like, they were throwing forearms at each other. They were throwing slingshot crossbodies. Cage got him with a powerbomb on the ramp. Cage got hit by a blue thunder bomb by Takeshita. We got suplexes on the apron from the outside. Cage hit an overhead release German suplex that looked fucking awesome. We got a buckle bomb, drop kicks, German suplexes. Cage attempts a Death Valley driver, but Takeshita counters it to a Liger bomb for a 2 count. Basically, Takeshita gets hit with, 2 brainbusters. Cage missed the drill claw. Takeshita hits 2 brainbusters. Almost gets the jumping knee. Then hits the F5. Takeshita hits an avalanche brainbuster and then a running knee for the win. These guys beat the piss out of each other. It was awesome. My notes are all over the fucking place because it was just too much to keep up with. It was a great match. Takeshita goes on, and it's not going to be the last we see of him for this evening. Renee Paquette is backstage with the Jericho Appreciation Society, and I gotta say, she was in this like banging hot red dress. Good for you, Renee. Renee's backstage with the Jericho Appreciation Society. He said that they want to know what their thoughts were on Ricky Starks calling them out for cheating in that match with him in Action Andretti. Jericho said if Starks wants another match, he's going to have to win the Garcia-Guevara gauntlet. So pretty much, Ricky Starks, if he wants to fight Jericho again, has got to beat Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and then after he beats those 2, he's either going to fight Garcia or Guevara. And if he beats one of them, then he gets the match with Jericho. It's just like a reoccurring thing on AEW where it's just like, I'm going to set up 5 guys for you to beat. It's just like, I just want to see a guy go on a streak of wins for the sake of going on a streak of wins. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that every single antagonist in AEW makes some guy run through a gauntlet. I would rather him like be a guy who's trying to interfere with someone's title plans or run for a title or something like that, something else. Then I'm going to make you fight all my goons. So it's like we already have that going on technically with MJF. They're just not calling it anything, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So will Starks and Jericho be a good match? Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be a good match. Listen, best case scenario, I get 3 to 4 great matches with Ricky Starks because the guy ain't bad. The guy ain't bad at all. So we'll see. And hey, if this is what he's got to do to hopefully get some sort of title shot where he hopefully doesn't have to go through another gauntlet, I'm very excited for him. The Elite, in a video segment, they're in some sort of basketball court with Don Callis and Michael Nakazawa. Kenny Omega accepts Top Flight and AR Fox's challenge for the trios belts. So they're going to fight next week on Dynamite. That should be an awesome match. Omega said if they want to shoot their shot, they better not miss. He passes the ball to Nick Jackson, who hits a swish. Ethan Page, Stokely Hathaway, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy, they interrupt. Omega goes, is Stokely here? I can't see him. I thought that was pretty funny. It looks like they are going to challenge them to a match on Rampage. So it's going to be Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy versus the Elite on Rampage. Bryan Danielson defeats Timothy Thatcher. This was an awesome match because they're two awesome wrestlers. Timothy Thatcher is a fantastic technical wrestler, a hard-hitting wrestler. Bryan Danielson is a wrestling fucking god. So there was no way that was going to be a bad match. I just love the fact with Thatcher and his missing tooth, he's just got this fucking snarl to him. It's pretty awesome. So I really do dig that. Obviously, the main thing, because Thatcher also uses the same move as MJF, the Fujiwara armbar. So Thatcher basically just worked over the arm the entire match. They were beating the shit out of each other. Worked the arm. There was a point where the ref got knocked down. MJF starts walking to the ring. He puts on the dynamite ring. He's about to knock out fucking Bryan Danielson. And out of nowhere, a guy hits him. And it's a guy in a hoodie. Guy removes the hoodie. It's fucking Takeshita. These guys are brawling all over the place. They brawl into the back. You got Danielson. He ends up hitting a release German and a Busaiku knee for the win. Backstage, MJF and Takeshita are beating the shit out of each other. Security steps in the way. Renee Paquette steps in between both of them. Says Tony Khan has signed a title eliminator match next week between the two. So it's going to be Konosuke Takeshita versus MJF next week. If Takeshita wins, he gets a shot at the title. This should be an awesome fucking match. I really hope that Takeshita brings him all the way to the limit. Obviously, MJF wins with some fuckery, but like, Takeshita's a guy that you could book a match like that, and like, no, it would have to be one hell of a match for people to be like, Takeshita needs to be the next champ, because let's be real, Takeshita's not the next champ. He's not going to be the next champ for a while. But the guy puts on awesome matches. So if you're going to have him do an awesome match and make him like this lovable underdog babyface, have him go the distance with MJF, have him at least get like moderately close, then MJF beats him, either by cheating or clean victory. But no matter what kind of performance they put on, no one's going to be clamoring for Konosuke Takeshita to be the new AEW title 2 months into the MJF title reign. No fucking way. So in this particular instance, it's a little bit different than what I explained earlier about the whole Sammy, Cody, and Roman situation. You could definitely get away with putting a banger match with Takeshita and MJF, please the fans and the hardcores like myself, and then just go on and do whatever the fuck. Let's see what else we got here. They do a vignette with Swerve Strickland and Mogul Affiliates. They're going to go after Brian Pillman. Now they're going on this thing where we don't want any second or third generation guys going on any runs. So there we go. And then the guy who had all the tattoos on his face and nobody knew, we finally found out his name. Trench. Okay. Lexi Nair's backstage with Rush and Jose the assistant and Preston Vance. He's told he's facing Bryan Danielson next week. MJF walks in, gives him a briefcase full of money. He said, this one's on the house, but there's 5 more of these where this came from. If you could beat Danielson, rip his arm off, beat him up. MJF obviously comes in all disrespectful and shit. It's obvious that Rush does not have any love for MJF, but everybody loves money. So, Rush versus Danielson next week, which should also be a fucking incredible match. What else is there? We got Jade Cargill with Layla Gray defeats Red Velvet to retain the TBS title. This is Jade's 50th win in a row. She's 50-0, undefeated in AEW, never lost a match, never pinned. Whatever. That's pretty much it. I mean, she's just been beating scrub after scrub as this has been going on. Obviously, they're treading water for Statlander, which I hope comes back in time to challenge Jade at Revolution and finally take this thing. Because by the looks of it, they're either Jade's gonna get to fucking 100-0 before they decide that they're gonna take this belt off her and have someone beat her. But Jesus H Christ, man, they like this TBS title. Like, there's never been another TBS champ but Jade Cargill. She's won 50 times in a row. Like, let's go. I still think it was supposed to be Statlander. Let's see what happens. The injury that she had isn't easy to come back from, so we'll see. I'm not going over that match in detail. All we need to know is that 50-0. Renee Paquette, who has been putting that little red dress to work all night, running around all over the place. Asking Britt Baker how she was doing because she got attacked by Saraya and Toni Storm. Oh yeah, that's right. Britt Baker got attacked by Saraya and Toni Storm in the middle of the Bunny challenging Jamie Hayter, who's the greatest women's wrestler alive, to a title eliminator match. So basically, if the Bunny beats Hayter, Hayter gets a title shot. I don't understand why Bunny didn't just challenge Hayter for the belt, because Hayter just takes on all challenges anyways. So, but whatever. So that's going to happen. And I have a feeling that Ruby Soho is going to somehow team up with Britt Baker to take out Saraya and Toni Storm. So that should technically be, if they're going to have a tag match, that should be a good match in theory. So we'll see. But it looks like that's what they're building up. Let's go find some more notes. All right. So Dynamite main event. Ring of Honor television champion Samoa Joe defeats Darby Allin in a no-holds-barred match to win back the TNT title. So Darby had an impressive streak of victories, having really good wins over notable guys. But at the end of the day, Samoa Joe claims what is his. He becomes once again, the king of television. So I don't know what all this was about. I don't know why you would give Darby Allin like a 1-month title reign just to give it back to the guy he lost it to. Unless like Samoa Joe was injured and they just needed Darby to hold on to the belt in the interim before Samoa Joe came back. Because let's be real, like Samoa Joe hasn't shown up at all until recently, where he challenged for the belt and then he won it. At the end of the match, Wardlow did come in and beat the shit out of Samoa Joe. So it looks like Wardlow is back in the mix. So I don't know what's happening with Darby Allin. I don't know what's happening with Wardlow. I don't know what they really necessarily have planned for Samoa Joe. They gave him the belt back. So like, I'm very curious as to where all this is going. I didn't get to see the final seconds of Dynamite, but apparently it looks like Wardlow might have actually killed somebody. I think he powerbombed some dude on the wood, and that guy did not take that bump very well. I didn't see it, but I'll watch the replay, and because I gotta know what happened. But Darby Allin has defended that TNT belt every week for the last month. All right, props to Darby Allin. He's the man. I may not necessarily understand what's going on with the booking, but goddamn did Darby Allin put on some awesome matches in the last couple of weeks. Darby Allin comes out with a hoodie covered in thumbtacks. He goes right after Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's eyes split open. They're beating each other pillar to post all over the arena, into the crowd, on the stairs. I think Samoa Joe dumped Darby Allin over his shoulders onto the fucking concrete stairs. These guys beat the piss out of each other. They used tables. They used stairs. They used the ring. Darby Allin cut the apron open, and then they used the exposed wood, which Samoa Joe did an avalanche fucking muscle buster onto the exposed wood. Darby Allin is a fucking maniac. I'm surprised he's not fucking dead. And Samoa Joe comes away with the victory. Great match. I don't know what's going on with the TNT title. The TNT title, I feel like, has been in constant flux ever since Cody left. So, so I'm very curious as to what's going to go on there. At the end, Wardlow comes back, kills everybody, and that's pretty much it. That's what I got for you, people. It is a great fucking time to be a wrestling fan. I'm telling you right now. New Japan is finally getting cheering fans back. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in this next round of free agency when it comes to wrestling, because you got guys like Kota Ibushi who are out there, who I don't know what's going on with him in New Japan, but he's showing up at GCW, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with Kota Ibushi and how he's being booked or what's going on, but I consider him a pseudo free agent. Jay White, free agent, and Will Ospreay is going to be a free agent. So both of those guys, two big names for New Japan, probably the biggest gaijin wrestlers that they have in there. It's possible. Now, the industry is big enough for the both of them. One of them can go to WWE and make a pretty big fucking splash there, and another guy could go over to AEW and make a pretty big fucking splash there. Or both guys can make big splashes in both areas, especially if they're going to rebrand and do that NXT Europe thing. If you want to have that and have freaking that headline by fucking Jay White and Will Ospreay, and you're going to put some really awesome, like UK talent around them to have banger matches and sort of recapture the glory days of NXT UK. Because I'm telling you this right now, the glory days of NXT UK, when they were actually having takeovers, was fucking awesome. All right? Those matches, those NXT UK takeovers were fucking incredible. So, I don't know. I could see a guy like Will Ospreay definitely doing very well in AEW. I feel like that is the promotion for him. I think that Jay White could potentially be a great fit in WWE. I feel like he's a little bit more marketable. He's got enough wrestling cred and enough charisma that he could definitely hold his own in the ring with anybody on the mic or in the ring. He could be a great foil for guys like Cody and Seth Rollins. There's so many people that Jay White could fight. But I do think that if I was to separate the two of them and put them into any two promotions that weren't New Japan, I would put Will Ospreay in AEW and I would put Jay White in the WWE. I'm a little bit more of an AEW fan than I am a WWE fan. I mean, the way WWE is right now, I just love watching wrestling again. It's fucking great. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Either way, I think I win for the first time in a long time. I feel like either place any of these free agents go is going to be a win for me. Because if they keep on booking WWE like the way that they're booking, Raw had over 2 million viewers again. All right. They were averaging 1.6 to 1.8 with Vince for the last several years. And this Bloodline storyline is hot. All right. Fucking Cody Rhodes coming back is also hot. Everyone's loving it. I'm fucking loving it. A guy who hasn't been watching for years is finally tuning into the product on a weekly basis. SmackDown 100% is going to keep on doing better than 2 million. WWE is on a fucking roll. I still don't give two shits about what's going on in NXT. But Raw and SmackDown, I dig it. AEW, I still get a little bit of that. I don't get I just like watching something that isn't WWE sometimes. And AEW fits the bill. I like watching that more than I like watching any other independent company. I like it more than GCW. I like it more than Impact. I get the added benefit of Ring of Honor being a part of everything. And then follow closely by that is New Japan. But New Japan gives me a totally different feel than AEW. You know what I mean? I'm watching that solely for the wrestling matches. Solely for the technical wrestling. I watch AEW because I feel like I get a good blend of storytelling and technical wrestling. And WWE now it just seems like they just are, I don't know what they're doing right now. I really don't know. But it's just like they're finding their way. They have good storytelling. They're having good wrestling, but it's just a little bit less carny, indie wrestling, and just a little bit more polished television, Hollywood-esque kind of well-produced kind of big production kind of deal. So I get everything. I can't lose. All right. I can't lose. It's why I always have. That's why I got an Xbox and a PlayStation. It's why I have a Surface and an iPad. It's why I have everything, because it's when everything is working on all cylinders and everything fucking tastes good, people. Then everyone has a great meal when everything tastes good, people. We're all getting fed. It's great. It's awesome. I can't even be upset with the things that necessarily don't go my way because so much is going my way in wrestling right now. There's a match that you don't like, I guarantee you can find 3 other matches that you will like. There's literally, if you're a wrestling fan, no reason to be upset right now. It is a great, 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 great time to be a wrestling fan. 2023 is going to be awesome. Triple H is booking WWE. I pray to God that Vince just stays the fuck away from what's going on right now because they're doing great shit. AEW, hopefully they're continuing to slowly bounce back from a very tumultuous 2022. New Japan, everyone's clapping again. They have a great roster of talent. They have great legends on there. I'm curious to see what more goes on with New Japan, see how they bounce back from this post-pandemic era officially. I'm loving it, people. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's a great time to be a listener of wrestling podcasts because you're going to be able to listen to me every week talking about what we love, professional fucking wrestling. The setup of the podcast will be changing soon. I'm going to be changing rooms and moving this to another room in my house. So everything's going to look different. You're not going to be in my fucking living room anymore. You'll just be in another room in the house. So that's going to change in the next couple of weeks. The major plan is to make a completely different format, unlike anything that I think you're used to in wrestling podcasts right now. I think a lot of wrestling podcasts are formed pretty much the same. I'm going to try and bring my own unique spin to a wrestling podcast. That is in the works. It's going to take a bit because I actually need to build this. So it's going to take a couple of months of construction work and running wires and putting up lights and all this shit. But I guarantee you people, when it is done, this will set this podcast aside from any other wrestling podcast that's out there. It is going to be a new look. We are going to start pushing very heavily for a larger audience. You're going to see a lot of advertising on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all these social media platforms. I'm going to be putting the word out. This family is going to start to grow, and it's going to start with the next evolution of this podcast. So please stay tuned every week, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. for podcasts on everything wrestling right here. Smells like Wrasslin. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank everyone from the chat. I see Josh and Doom there. Thank you very much to loyal viewers. I appreciate it. I'm signing off, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.